Well, good afternoon, fellow diamond painters. It's Diamond Painting Crazy Lady here. I have to say late afternoon because it's about 4:16 p.m. on the 29th of June, 2023. Excuse me. Um, I just looked at our air quality index and it was at 214. I guess in the other part of Ohio, down near Cincinnati, sorry, they were either higher or they're really blanketed. I don't know how long it's going to take before our air quality picks up a little. And the reason why I know the air quality's pretty bad, you can't really see much of it now. It's still hazy. Excuse me. Oh, man. But my daughter has asthma, and she was taking out the trash today, dragging stuff out, putting it out. And since she has asthma, she really could not breathe at all. And I think from being out there yesterday taking the puppy out, it affected, her lungs, and it must have irritated or agitated him, and and it's, TMI, but she was spitting up just a little bit of blood that irritated her lungs. And I am coughing more than normal. My windows, my doors, everything's closed. We're not hermetically sealed, but I was planning on going to the post office tomorrow because Mary, I told you I'd be shipping you out your package. I'm not going to be able to go out of here tomorrow. I probably won't go until Monday. So everything's going to be delayed. Any packages I'm shipping that I would have shipped tomorrow, I will not be shipping until Monday. And then we have the 4th. So, hopefully by the end of next week, what I'm shipping out will have arrived. And y'all can let me know. I'll have tracking numbers to give you, and then you can, you know, keep tabs on it that way. I just thought I would at least come on here for a short uh, little whip and chat type thing and to explain that. It's the temperature is at 82, and so I consider it like muggy or whatever, but with the air quality, you know, it's not good. I hope Canada is doing okay and that they're getting their fires under control. It can't be good for them as well. I heard New York was like orangey, hazy, and I saw pictures of Cincinnati. I mean, you couldn't even see their downtown. That's how covered it was. And that's so probably about what, between 6 and 8 hours away from me. And I can't imagine how Cleveland and stuff is doing. Anyone up by the Great Lakes, because they're going to get quite a lot of it wafting from there, I guess. Uh, okay, Hoyabella, just finished watching your video, and I see you're starting the Golden Valley. That's, I'm tickled that you're starting it and that you said you really like it. So hopefully you won't have any issues with it. Uh, you know, I want enjoy it and enjoy it. I want to continue to see your progress on it. And as far as impulse buy, I think, everybody who does diamond painting, I think, have that same impulse. Because I myself have bought way more than I know I could afford or probably finish in a long time. I hope I don't have this camera too close. I've bought, just like this last order that I have coming on Sunday from Amazon. I probably shouldn't have bought it. It's a payment I got to make. But there's the impulse. I saw it, I wanted it, so I bought it. And I said I was on a no buy. Yeah, no buy went bye bye. I mean, my daughter spent more than she should have spent in the last 2 months. So we either take her credit cards and cut them up, put them away. The bad thing about the internet now is now you can have it, like a virtual credit card. It's online. You just punch it in, you got it. It's a bad thing. Yeah, and then let's see, Hoya talked about, her childhood and things. Talk about what you want. I mean, it's not offensive, at least to me, or anything. I mean, some of us had good childhoods, some of us had bad ones. It all comes down to what you do with it later as you grow up into an adult. So, you take it for what it is and you move on. If I was younger, I'd probably be upset about certain things, and I was in my younger years. But now, at the age I am, I step back and say, was it worth all the hassle and the arguing and the, carrying on about it? Because it didn't get me anywhere anyway. Now, what I told or commented to Granny about, she stole my idea about talking about shows we watched and stuff. And I know we may have Mike here, Diamond Painting with Mike, on occasion if he shows up. Who knows? And he is a bit younger, so he may not know some of the cars I plan on talking about. And some of you ladies may not be interested in it either. Because, there's some that are, some that aren't. This thing is stuck. Sometimes I get my drills in so tight, I can't get them to squeeze into each other. Well, let's see. I graduated in 1969. I was 17. I got my first car. It was a 62 Rambler American convertible. I paid $50 for it. And the funny thing is that it originally had belonged to my boyfriend, then to become my husband. His belonged to his father. And his father sold it. They got rid of it. And it ended up in the hands of my husband's best friend. It needed some repairs and stuff, and they did some of the repairs, and it wasn't bad. But then he wanted to get rid of it because he wanted something different. He wanted something he could soup up and, that type of thing. So I bought it from them for $50. My dad didn't like the car. I had to replace universal joints on it, and it needed brakes and things. I was working as a nurse's aide, living at home with my dad and my stepmother. So my dad said he thought it was a death trap car. I mean, it was in excellent condition on the outside. You would never know the age of the car. You'd never know it. As far as, no rust, there was nothing like that. The convertible top was excellent. I loved that. So my dad made me sell it, said I should get rid of it. And then he proceeded, and no offense to my father, he's gone now. But he proceeded to buy me what I considered a real death trap. He got me a 62 Corvair. A 62 Corvair that 3 months later, it died. It just quit. And from that moment on, some of the cars I owned would last a while, and I wouldn't have, I'd on to the next car because I couldn't afford, too much. I had gotten married right at the time I had the Corvair. I had just turned 18. And so after the Corvair had died, I had a 59 Volkswagen. No rear fenders, huge tires on the back. I think we paid $75 for it because the man who had it, reason why it had no rear fenders and big, huge tires in the back is he used to take it out in the woods to hunt deer. He'd drive around through the woods and hunt deer. Go deer hunting. I have no clue. And with the 59 Volkswagen, there was no gas gauge. There was one gauge in the center, and that was your speedometer. That was it. In order to check your gas and stuff, it came with a stick with numbers on it that you dipped down in the tank, and it would tell you how many gallons you had left. So that was a good one. And if you forgot to check it, you were doing a lot of pushing, which I had done a few times. When that car fell apart, which was within about a year, we got I think it was a 62 or 64, I'm not sure. It was another Volkswagen, but it was a Karma Ghia. Now, I really liked that one. But my husband at the time, he had a 67 Mustang Sprint model. And he loved that car. It was a 3-speed, 4-speed. It had Hurst shifting, which maybe some of you ladies don't know what that is, but anyway, neither here nor there. That car eventually went by the wayside. It blew a head gasket or something, and oil went into the transmission, and it died. It needed a whole new engine. So got rid of that. Had a 62 or 64 Dodge Dart, what they called the push button power glide, that instead of having a hand to put your things in gear, had push buttons. My favorite car, though, I had was a 59 Chevy Bel Air. Had the cat eye tail lights in the rear. That was my favorite car. I paid $150 for that car, and you couldn't even hear it, the engine running. That's how quiet that car was. And I had those cars in 1970. So you know the age of it. It ran like a brand new car. It was fantastic. Then we eventually moved from the area we were in. He was going to college at Kent State. And we were there at the time of the shootings up there. We were within about 5 miles of it. I was up there at the college because my husband was going to college there. We ended up getting out of our small town pretty quick. There was one or two tanks that came down the road heading toward Kent State. It was the National Guard. And there were fires everywhere at Kent State. It started the night before down on what the name of the street was, Water Street, where all you start at one corner, and by the time you hit the other corner, you could hit every bar all along the way. But it was a bad time. We left to go stay with his grandmother for a couple days because we were just worried. That's all. But everything, it happens for a reason, I guess. And we ended up moving eventually to another city, bigger city. And we ended up divorced 7 years later. And the next car I had was a 55 Chevy. I think I seem to get stuck with the older ones. It was a nice car. I liked it. Didn't pay much for it either. Got it off a dealership. But anyway, I suppose we can get off the car subjects because there's probably not too many ladies out there that are really interested in. But maybe you ought to, put in the comment if you're around. What was your first vehicle? When you graduated. Hold up.